Guys, breaking news. Let's bring this up right now regarding Roe versus Wade. Roe versus Wade. This is breaking news. This happened today. If you're not aware, we're going to make sure to get this story out ASAP. Breaking news. Supreme Court overturns Roe versus Wade. This has been the law of the land for probably 50 years, I want to say. Is this the valuetainment.com article? Scroll in a little bit. So the Supreme Court has overturned Roe versus Wade, ending 50 years of federal abortion rights. The Supreme Court has officially overturned Roe versus Wade, giving individual states the power to limit, ban, or allow abortion altogether. A couple more details for you. Justice Samuel Alito wrote in the court's opinion, "We end this opinion where we began. Abortion presents a profound moral question. The Constitution does not prohibit the citizens of each state, highlighting each state from regulating or prohibiting abortion. Roe and Casey arrogated that authority. We now overrule those decisions and return that authority to the people and their elected representatives. It is now going back to the states. This is a big deal. I'm sure there's a lot of ladies very not happy about this. Male feminists not a lot happy about this. People who are pro-life very happy about this. People who are pro-choice not so happy. This has been one of the most contentious issues in the country for years. This will be on the ballot box come midterms in 2022. Culture wars are a real thing. The left has been, what I would say, dropping the ball on some of the critical race theory stuff, on the woke type stuff, on the transgender type of stuff. Has the right side now dropped the ball on losing the female vote come 2022 and 2024? Donovan, let's start with you, sir.
Wow, this is a tough one, man. One thing that I will say is that people on both sides of the argument, there are people on both sides, the pro-life and then the pro-choice. It's a lot of times you can just tell by the way they speak, it's not even about the issue. It's really just about pissing the opponent off. A lot of people, you see rallies where people are yelling at each other. What gets lost in translation is what's actually at play. People are just disagreeing with people they do not like. That's the first thing. The second thing I'll say, I'm not as religious as I used to be, but there is no way that you can condone killing people before they're born. And I'll give you an analogy. If we found out that there was some veterinary hospital in Wisconsin that was aborting kittens and puppies before they were born, the world would stop. They would be picketing outside. They would be picketing outside. Oh, we have to bring this person to justice. Yet we can kill people before they're born. And it's interesting. We talk about people valuing themselves, but it appears that people value the lives of animals, which are important, but they value the lives of animals before people. There are animal cruelty statutes and laws, but people can willfully, and the whole my body, my choice thing, that's bullshit. Since when do we own our children, Adam? Since when does the baby, that baby you do not own that child. That is that baby's body. You are making a decision unilaterally to end the life of someone else who didn't even have a say. So I don't base this on any religious context. I just think that killing people before they're born should be illegal.
Would you do me a favor, Kelly? Because I want to get the ladies' opinion on this. Pull up Google states abortions timeline. Let's pull that up and we'll go from there. Wow. Janita, would you like to go?
Yeah, sure. I looked at this today and I actually had a conversation because I don't feel like okay, I have 4 kids. Everybody know that. Okay.
You have 4 beautiful
kids. My oldest is 21. Okay. So,
and by the way, can I blow people's minds?
Go ahead.
The 21-year-old has a kid. Janita is a grandma.
My 18-year-old is the one with
my
the kid.
Oh my God. Janita is the hottest grandma
Black
on this
crack,
side
y'all.
of the Mississippi, y'all.
You have 4 freaking kids.
4
Yes,
kids, and she's a grandma. Okay.
And I'm a grandma.
Wow.
All right.
Okay, I'm not mad at that.
Anyway.
So no, I never had an abortion, right? But when it comes to...
I can't believe you're a fucking grandma. Guys, the show's up.
Incredible. That's incredible.
Go ahead, Janita.
But when it comes to having a choice or having an option, I don't feel like it should be in the hands of any representative or state of any kind. Think about it like this. There are communities or neighborhoods, whatever, that, especially the impoverished ones, don't always have access to health care or contraceptives, just it's not there. And the education on it is not there. So what do? They go out and fucking have babies. Or they do this thing, get pregnant, try to fix the problem. Oh God, I can't take care of this kid. This is not going to work. There's no way. Like, I'm going to have to drop out of school. They don't have the support like other communities and other cultures have. And then they end up with a bunch of kids they can't afford, on welfare, in the project somewhere, staying impoverished. And then what happens to their kids? They continue that same cycle.
You're saying it's a vicious cycle. It goes on and on and on.
Very much so.
By the way, just to add, I don't know if you want to pull this article up real quick about how much it costs to raise a kid, and then we'll get to Devin's thoughts on
a lot.
Okay, so
oh God,
article right here: raising a middle-class child will likely cost almost $286,000.
Wow.
That's from the age of 0 to 18. The cost of a child was about $250,000 prior to
still a lot.
Inflation.
Man, that's
but
a lot.
inflation is affecting kids too. Now it's closer to 286. So to have or to not to have kids is a financial question. It's not just a biological question. Food, clothing, shelter, little league, ballet, designer jeans, proms, cars, potentially paying for college, all part of the long list of child-related expenses. These don't include when the offspring who have already left the nest, or sometimes they won't even leave the nest. A lot of Gen Z, a lot of millennials are still living at home. So how should modern Americans even address this? Devin, do you want to weigh in on the abortion issue and the cost of having kids?
I mean, my thoughts are pretty simple on this topic. Abortion has no place as a method of birth control. Women who use abortion as a backup form of birth control, meaning they're not using any type of protection, and they're saying, it's okay, I'll just take a plan B, or I'll just do this, I'll deal with it after the fact. No, if you're mature enough to have sex, especially unprotected sex, you're mature enough to know your contraceptive options, and you have to know what the consequences are for your actions. Just because it's expensive to raise a kid doesn't mean it's okay to kill one.
I think Rollo calls it hypergamy at its finest. Shout out to Rollo
Hypergamy personified, yes.
Right. If you're going to get knocked up by a A-list dude, a high-value man,
she's carrying that to term, bro.
But if you go and get drunk and get smashed out by some, fugly schmuck, you're probably going to have an abortion.
He better have bought dinner, though, right?
Is this going to change the way that men and women think, though?
Oh, man. I hope so,
Unfortunately,
man.
it's going to make things worse.
You think it's going to make things worse?
I agree.
Why,
Absolutely. Because at the end of the day, this is not going to stop. What it's going to do... Okay, so if you think about it, remember like back in the around
1950s?
40s and 50s,
Oh, yeah.
you know what I'm saying? These young girls, scared, they done had sex, found out they pregnant, can't tell their parents.
Out of wedlock,
you know what I'm saying?
that whole thing.
And that was a big deal, whatever. So you go and you find a person. Like
A
these
doctor
ass shots
with a
that they
coat
doing
hanger.
the same thing.
Jesus.
And
Wow, yeah.
You understand me?
exactly.
Yeah.
And so this is going to become more of a practice. So now the witch
market.
doctors is coming back and halfway killing people. Now you can't never have no kids, okay, if you even make it out of there. And it's going to be young girls doing this.
That's all right.
Yeah.
I think it's a shame that we know more about having sex than contraceptive.
I'm talking about education. This is the problem, because if you're going to do this and make this a thing where you're like, oh, well, you can't have an abortion after XYZ, then make sure that you implementing the same things and making sure that you educating these people and giving them what the tools that they need. Birth control should be free.
I thought it was.
No, it is not.
Well, what about condoms? What, you can't afford? What, people can't afford $7 for a condom?
They break. That is not that.
No, birth
that
control
type
is not free. Either is
No.
the pill or condoms.
$50
Yeah.
and condoms ain't free.
Okay.
By the way,
Well,
they
so-
lock. If you ever go to a CVS or a Walgreens, they lock up condoms.
They do.
Hello.
But here's
Okay.
the thing. So now we have an unwanted pregnancy because of the failure of a contraception. It happens. So now we got to punish the kid. Oh, my condom broke. So now we're going to end the life of another
Who's
human.
to say that punishing that child is not bringing them into a world that you're not prepared for? You can't prepare them
that's
for.
That's not our call to make. A lot
It is the person
No.
who's having that baby called to make.
No,
you
it's
know
not.
what you can and you cannot do.
But the baby
Yes,
doesn't
you
know.
do.
The baby doesn't know what they can or can't
But that
do.
person does.
Yeah.
So you gonna ruin their life? You already finna do it.
Oh, so you're going to end the life of somebody before they even have a chance to get out into the world? That's unfair.
Let me
This
ask you
ain't the
guys a
world they
question.
need to
Let me
be
ask you
in.
guys a
Well,
question.
then don't have sex.
And I'm going to get to Kelly too. Let me ask you guys a
can't tell
question.
people that.
Should women have a larger voice in this argument? Meaning, how many politicians are men? Probably 80%.
Yep.
Should women have a larger voice in this controversy? Meaning, like, I don't know how to gauge that.
Yeah, that's it.
But like for one time on PBD podcast, I was like, listen, let the ladies decide, and let's see what they have to say. Oh, what do you mean to let the ladies decide? The men will be like, should women have a larger role in this?
I do feel that way. Men don't have babies.
That's what I'm asking.
They,
exactly.
They help create them, but they don't have them.
That's
They
like
don't
if-
sacrifice
that's
their
like if-
careers for them. They don't do any of that
Right.
stuff.
Devin, should women have a larger voice? I'm not saying men don't have a voice, but should men, like if it was a 4-4 vote and like we need to have a 5th vote, let the lady decide. That's what I'm asking. Because I think it was a 6-3 Supreme Court
was.
Court vote.
I mean, it takes two to tango, and if I have an abortion and my husband doesn't know it, okay,
God.
is that okay?
No, that's different. We're
Right?
not talking about
Okay,
that.
so,
Yeah, but
so
those
when is
situations
it?
happen.
When is it?
That happened to me before, straight up.
Right.
you
and when
kidding?
is it okay?
Yeah,
and so
a girl had an abortion. I have no idea. This was 15 years ago. I would
God.
probably have a
Adam
teenager
Jr.
right now.
And on-
Exactly.
Adam
right now.
Jr.
Right. I mean, on the
But
same
she told me after the fact. I don't even know what I would have done 15 years ago.
on the same token, there's how many men out there that are paying child support for children that aren't his?
No.
So we have.
Are you kidding me? You said none?
Don't they have to have DNA tests?
Oh
No.
my God!
Listen,
no.
I'm gonna
I
quote.
did.
They do not.
I'm gonna
Well,
quote a
again,
very famous
did.
poet. He said this:
Kanye.
18 years.
Oh, God,
18
Kanye.
years. And you find out that the kid ain't yours, Kanye
Real talk.
West,
You
right?
find out it wasn't his.
He wanted his, exactly. Kelly,
God.
what are your thoughts on this? I know that you've been sort of deflecting answers, but I know you have an opinion on this.
I'm not deflecting answers. I just don't choose to look at people in that
You're
way.
not giving a score.
Yeah, I'm not
What are your
scoring
thoughts on
anybody.
the new Supreme Court overruling?
They didn't ban abortion. They
Mm-hmm.
gave the people the power to vote in their states
Correct.
what they believe in. So if you're a religious person and you don't believe in and you don't believe in killing a baby, then you're gonna go vote for your representative, who's then gonna make a law that says abortion is illegal, except in cases of health
Rape
or
and
whatever.
incest, health and the what?
Yes, of course.
You have
and
the
then
states,
there's-
by the way?
I found something that was
Okay.
some sort of list. It kind of just highlights everything.
I'll read that. Go-
And
Continue
I'm not
with your
religious.
throat.
You don't have to be religious to be
I
pro-life.
agree.
Yeah.
Right. So that too. And then if you don't, then if you need abortion, like there has to be the reason that Roe versus Wade was overturned is because our Constitution does not have anything in it that says it's illegal. So that's why it was overturned. If there needs to be a new law, then yes, women especially, but everybody needs to vote and make laws that actually stand up in court. Roe versus Wade wasn't standing up because it's not in our Constitution.
It was case law. That's really what happened.
Yeah. So I think it is unfortunate because now like the country's in like political turmoil. We have to go through all this, and elections coming up. So both sides are going to use this to their advantage, and it's going to muddy the waters about who we should
Well,
vote
let me pose
for.
a question. Where does the my body, my choice come into this? Because that's been a whole thing with abortions.
You don't
with
know
Your
your
choice
kids,
started when you had
vaccines,
sex.
with everything like that.
Say
What's
again?
Your
that?
choice started when you had sex.
Exactly.
There it is. That's right. If you look, man, we understand contraception fails and this and that, but everybody knows how babies are made. And when it comes down to it, I could not agree more.
But-
And again, we don't own our kids. Your kid's body does not belong to you.
Yes, they do.
Janita, you said
You
something.
believe that they do?
Hell yeah, because that's what the damn police will tell you if I beat her ass and send her outside and put her out my house. Oh, that's your baby. You got to take care of her. Well, that's not. No,
But
it's
those
not.
are
It's
the laws
her
of
body,
the
her
land.
choice.
Well, those are the laws of the land. We're talking about the laws of nature. You don't own. This is why slavery was outlawed, because you're not supposed to own other people.
Right.
But
Well,
we're
that took
supposed
a
to see.
long ass time, so I'm still waiting. I don't
Well,
mind.
the point is that if it's illegal for slave owners to own slaves, as it should be, then it should be illegal for women to make unilateral decisions about people they don't own.
They didn't give birth to
It
them
should-
slaves.
Wait, hold on. These are two different arguments.
They are.
They're two different arguments, but men sacrifice too when it comes to kids.
Not all men do, because I know a lot of people that ain't got no
I'm
daddy
sure-
around
I'm
here, and they
sure-
got to figure it out on their
Okay,
own.
now we're muddying the waters. The point that I'm trying to make here: women decide which babies are born and which aren't. Should women have more of a voice? Women already have the voice. It really is their choice, no matter what I say. If a woman chooses to get an abortion, there's nothing I can do about it because it is her choice. My contention is that it shouldn't be. And it's funny because when it comes to my body, my choice, when a woman decides to have an abortion, my body, my choice. But when she carries the kid to term, now she wants dad involved. So which is it? You understand what I mean? My body, my choice. My wallet, my choice. Those are one of the concepts that are sort of skewed in this.
Damn, Kelly, final word.
Janita made a great point earlier today about how, if you're in a impoverished city or whatever, these things are more likely to happen. The question shouldn't be about a law against abortion. I mean, it should be illegal to kill someone, but the focus should be laws on sex education, access to contraception,
I agree with that.
access to a medical doctor that can help you if something serious happened. Those are the conversations that we should be having and voting for when we vote for our representatives, rather than just Roe versus Wade was a Band-Aid, and it wasn't a good one. So now is the time for everybody to vote and make their voices
In
heard.
your particular state.
Do you think the sex contraception industry is... I'm not a conspiracy guy, but the fact that contraception and birth control is not as widely available as sexual access is, do you think this is by design for economic reasons? Because a lot of people probably argue that.
I definitely do.
Yeah.
I definitely do, depending on what area you are in.
Abortion doctors are in business, all of that.
If you go Fort Lauderdale, like a little bit east, like in the hood area, you can find at least 2 abortion clinics. You understand me? Right there. But there's no doctor's
contraception.
office.
Unbelievable.
Okay, there's no... I don't even think it's a Walgreens.
That's a problem. man.
You understand?
Yeah.
So where are they getting this stuff from? They want to take away sex education. They ain't even really teaching it in some of these schools.
They learn from music videos.
The internet,
and that's
do
not
they?
helping.
Nope.
So what are we doing? So you're not educating them, but you don't want them to fix a mistake that they may make. Okay, I understand it's not right to kill anybody,
Sure.
but educate them and give them the resources.
I agree.
Period.
I agree.
Here's some final stats for you before we move on. All right, so here are some of the highlights that you guys should be aware of regarding Roe versus Wade and access to abortions now that it is going to the states. Highlights: 44 states prohibit some abortions after a certain point in pregnancy, after a certain amount of weeks. 9 states ban abortion, straight up. 1 state bans abortion at 20 weeks. 10 states ban abortion at 22 weeks. 5 states ban abortion at 24 weeks. 18 states impose a ban at viability. And 1 state imposes a ban in the 3rd trimester. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're having sex and you're worried about having kids, look up your state laws and regulations.
People finna
your
stop
state
fucking.
legislative body, your state legislative body now controls your body.
Pull out game's
There
gotta be
it was.
strong, y'all.
Pull
Well,
out
I
game
can't have no more
strong.
kids, so I can keep having
Okay,
sex.
hot grandma right here. Hot grandma right here.